What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be comparing the top spec 2024 Crosstrek and the top spec 2024 Forester. Let's get into it. So we're going to be trying to figure out in this video which of these vehicles is the better value. They're pretty close in price. This is, of course, the Forester Touring trim, which is the top trim for 2024, and then the Subaru Crosstrek Limited, which is its top trim for 2024. The Crosstrek here comes in at about $36,000, whereas the Forester is about $40,000. Of course, you're going to have some size differences between the two. The Forester is a larger vehicle than the Crosstrek, but you also have a lot of similarities. We'll talk about everything in this video. Let's get into it. So starting up front, the front grills are a little bit different styling here. The Forester grille is a little bit larger. The Crosstrek grille is a little bit more compact, but you have a lot of plastic cladding, which is just classic Subaru. You've got little accent pieces around your LED fog lights. On both vehicles, you have a full set of LED steering responsive headlights, LED DRLs, and of course, like I said, those LED fogs down below. And you can see on the Forester, they're a little bit larger. On the Crosstrek, they're a little bit more compact, and they have this little three-dimensional protrusion right here, which is a nice accent piece. But again, just a little bit of a differentiation between the front grills, just a different styling, but you still have a lot of body-colored splits and black cladding and silver accents and things. So some similarities, but it's just really which front end do you prefer? In my opinion, I think the Crosstrek front grille is a little bit more aggressive and sporty, whereas the Forester one is a little bit more subdued. I tend to prefer the look of the Crosstrek grille, but it's totally personal preference. Now, one note I did want to make. This, again, is the 2024 Forester. We are getting a full redesign of the Forester in 2025. So if you're looking for the differences between 2024 and 2025, I've got a video for you. Check the card above or the link in the description. But again, we're just focusing on 2024 here. Some of these things will change for 2025, and I'll be sure to mention it. But if you don't love the design of the 2024 and you want to wait to 2025, that's definitely an option as well. Now, under the hood on both models, you're going to have a 2.5 liter boxer engine. The horsepower is the same, but the torque is a little bit different. So over on the Forester, you have the 2.5 liter, 182 horsepower, 176 pound-feet of torque. Over on the Crosstrek, 182 horsepower, 178 pound-feet of torque. A little bit more torque over here on the Crosstrek, but the mileage is going to be the same. 33 miles per gallon highway, 26 miles per gallon city for a combined 29. Now on both models, you're going to have the same ground clearance at 8.7 inches. That's pretty much standard on Subaru. There are a couple models that are different, but for the most part, 8.7 inches of ground clearance on both. Both the Forester and the Crosstrek here sit on 18-inch aluminum alloy wheels. They're two-tone alloy wheels. Talked about in my previous video comparing the Crosstrek and the Equinox. If you're interested, check the card above. I talked about these wheels, kind of Beyblade style, throwing star style. They're pretty similar actually over on the Forester as well. A little bit different. You can definitely tell they're not the same design, but pretty similar in design, so I like both of them a lot. Now, the cladding is something that's definitely noticeably different. Over on the Crosstrek, you have a lot more bolstered cladding. It works its way up the body line here. You've got these little passive vents here. You don't have that over here on the Forester, just this pretty simplified piece of cladding that goes up all the way around. Now, if you want to get the Forester Wilderness, you're going to get more cladding over here, but this is standard on the Limited Crosstrek and the Wilderness Crosstrek. You don't have such thing here on the Forester Touring. As far as these side mirrors go, you have these kind of magnetite gray side mirrors. They look really nice in contrast with this alpine green color, which I absolutely love on the Crosstrek here. You have ice silver metallic over here on the Forester, and then you have these satin mirror caps. They both have integrated turn signals. They're both heated. They both have blind spot monitoring. You don't have any cameras up underneath or anything like that. And they're both manual folding, as you can see, for the Crosstrek as well as the Forester here. Keyless access on the door handles for both. So one thing you definitely notice is that the Forester sits up higher than the Crosstrek as far as the cabin goes. Like, it's just taller and longer than the Crosstrek. The Crosstrek's a little bit squattier and a little bit shorter in length. And in turn, you get a little bit taller of a roof line here, whereas the Crosstrek one, goes up to about here on me, and the Forester is like up here. So it's definitely a taller kind of feel to it, even though they have the same ground clearance. You've got these silver roof rails up here with a little bit of an accent piece in the center there, and then just a single pane sunroof. They call it a panoramic, it's not really. But you do have a smaller sunroof up here on the Crosstrek. And then you have black roof rails here on the Crosstrek with these arrow crossbars that we optioned onto it. On the Wilderness editions of both of these models, you can get the ladder style roof rails. That'll give you like 700 pounds of static load. If you need more roof rack capability, definitely get a Wilderness. You've got similar cladding at the bottom of both both of the door panels. On the Forester, you have the black cladding and then a little bit of a satin accent. Over on the Crosstrek, you have almost like a gunmetal gray accent above the plastic skirt cladding there. Of course, you're going to have the same Eyesight driver assist system on both of these. I'll put a note on screen if I'm wrong about this, but I think the Crosstrek has the advanced Eyesight system. I don't think they've updated the Forester yet to have that advanced system yet, but I think you'll get that on 2025. Although you do have the lane centering on both, but the Eyesight system is an award-winning system and you get it on both models standard, no issues there. All right, so moving to the tailgates of both of these vehicles, I think you can definitely tell the height difference between the two vehicles here in the back, especially. Just the dimensions are all proportionally different pretty noticeably. On the back of the Forester here, you have a crystal black silica spoiler to keep stuff off your back windshield. You have a body colored spoiler here on the Crosstrek, but the rear window kind of juts out more, so you're going to get more stuff on your back windshield. So luckily you have a wiper here. You do still have a wiper here on the Forester as well, but it's a little bit more of a concealed windshield, so you should have less stuff on it overall. Tinted rear glass on both. Some really nice kind of claw-shaped tail lights here on the Forester. Similar design over here on the Crosstrek. I think I like these a little bit better. They're just more aggressive and they have a little bit more of like these accent pieces intermittently. This is a little bit more simplified, but you know, it's just a different, it's kind of, these have different demographics. That's the easiest way that I can say it, the Forester and the Crosstrek, but that's fine. I'm trying to help you guys decide which demo you want to fit into here. Silver Subaru and all-wheel drive badging here, silver Forester and Touring badging there, and then silver Crosstrek badging and symmetrical all-wheel drive and Subaru badging over there. Big Subaru badge right in the center. The Forester badge actually protrudes, whereas the Crosstrek badge is sunken in, so. Does that matter to you? The Crosstrek has this bumper applique here with the waves and the trees and the mountains. Over on the Forester, you do have bumper applique, but it's just not even a design, just a simple little thing. Big diffuser here at the bottom on the Crosstrek with this black plastic cladding and some parking sensors and reflectors. You've got reflectors, parking sensors, not as big of a diffuser. You do have one. It's actually plastic, but it's body colored plastic, and it's a little bit lower down and harder to see. Exhaust tip there, and then you don't have an exposed exhaust tip here on the Crosstrek. And then one thing that really sets them apart is that the Crosstrek does not have a power lift gate. So you can see it is unlocking, but it does not open. You have to manually open the lift gate, whereas the Forester here does have a power lift gate. So in turn, you're gonna have the buttons here to actually control the liftgate, which you don't have over on the Crosstrek, but you have a lot of similar features in the liftgate area. So you've got like a cargo shade, cloth mats, all-weather floor liners. You've got a cargo net here on the Forester, Touring mats here, all-weather mats, all-weather liner, cargo shade, and up underneath you do have a spare tire, all your tools, LED lights in the back, all that kind of stuff. Now, one difference is you have to put the seats down using these little pop-ups on the Crosstrek, whereas on the Forester, you have these little toggles that you can pull and the seats will unlock and they'll drop right down for you. So that's a little bit nicer over on the Forester. But again, this is a more expensive vehicle, so it's going to have some of those more premium features, including an LED light built into the top of the tailgate, which is super convenient if you're doing things at night and you open it up and you want to get in here and be able to see what you're doing. A little bit easier than the little lights that are on the walls of the tailgate. Now, the size obviously is going to be a little different, but you're definitely going to get more cargo capacity over on the Forester. That's just a given. It's a larger vehicle, but you still get a very generous amount of cargo space over on the Crosstrek. Nonetheless, more cargo space for sure over on the Forester and a power lift gate, and then of course no power lift gate. Boom, put it down. Let's hop inside. All right, so hop it into the Forester cabin first. I wanted to start over here because of the changes for 2025. So you're looking at the kind of last generation Forester cabin here. So when we hop over the Crosstrek, you're gonna notice a bunch of things that if you just wait one generation here in the Forester, you can get. And obviously the most notable one is that 11.6-inch vertical display versus the smaller 8-inch horizontal display that we have here. But you also have some like seating redesigns and a little bit of a layout change and things like that. So if you prefer some of the kind of tech features that you get over on the Crosstrek, just wait a year and you'll get them over on the Forester as well. But I will have to point out that those are changes between the 2024 model years, so something to keep in mind. We'll just kind of work our way around briefly and talk about everything that you've got here. This isn't a full review. I do have a full review on the 2024 Forester as well as the 2024 Crosstrek, plus secret features videos. So if you want to know everything about both these models, definitely check all the links in the description and watch those videos as well. You've got some soft touch rubber and then a little bit of a textured piece here with some leather with accent stitching, position memory for your seats here, leather wrapped steering wheel. It is heated as well. You've got your driver information controls here as well as your adaptive cruise control with lane centering, SI drive, paddle shifters with your linear-tronic CVT with manual mode, light wiper controls, 2 analog gauges, little driver information cluster in the center, as I said. And then you have a couple other displays here. You have your driver focus distraction mitigation system up here. I talk a lot about that in the secret features video, how you use that. And then you have another little driver information display up top. Now this is where the cabin I think really feels a little dated. You just have all these screens everywhere instead of like one larger display, which is kind of where we're headed in the car space. At least if you are going to have multiple displays, they're going to be much larger than these kind of smaller little displays we've got sprinkled around. And the graphics package up top here is a little dated to me. Moving down, we do have that 8-inch infotainment system. You can either have a 6.5-inch or an 8-inch, and this one does come standard with the 8-inch up on the Touring. You've got dual zone automatic climate control here, so individually adjustable driver and passenger. Then you've got your heated side mirrors and defogger button right there. Little pad here, 1 aux port, and then again, showing its age a little bit, 2 USB-A ports, only no USB-C, and a 12-volt outlet there. Now the sides here kind of have this nice rubber texture material on the sides with a little bit of these silver accents. Push to start engine button, all that is nice, feels good. You do have kind of a leather accented shift knob here with your linear-tronic CVT, and then your dual function X mode is here. Heated seats for driver and passenger, electronic parking brake here, auto vehicle hold button, 2 cup holders, center console with another 12-volt outlet, and you have a nice large glove box here as well. Auto dimming rearview mirror up top with HomeLink garage door controls, dome lights up here that are LED, and then you've got your sunroof sliding controls here. It is a manual shade here. We can cover that right up or open that up, whatever you want to do. And then of course you have your Eyesight cameras up top. And then you do have a Harman Kardon premium audio system here in the Forester. Now, as far as these seating surfaces go, you have these black leather appointed seating surfaces with accent stitching on the sides. The driver is a 10-way power adjustable with 2-way position memory. The passenger is an 8-way power adjustable seat, and they're heated for both driver and passenger and your rear outboard passengers as well. All right, so hopping inside this pretty fresh Crosstrek as well. We still have the covers on everything. You're gonna really notice the difference in this system. Much larger 11.6-inch system, but if you want that on the Forester, just wait to 2025 and you will get it. But as far as the rest of the interior goes, you know, you have a lot of similar materials. Instead of having a soft touch rubber up top, you have hard touch plastic, but you do have similar textured pieces. This is kind of a faux carbon fiber. And then you have this leatherette material with orange accent stitching on the armrest. No position memory on your seats, so you got that on the Forester. You do have the Harman Kardon speaker system on the Crosstrek here, so same on both, but you just have like more buttons and stuff on the Forester. It's got a couple more features here and there with that power lift gate, so you've got more buttons. This is a little bit more simplified cabin, but you do still have the heated seat buttons, which are the same. You've got the same set of steering wheel controls. It's a little bit of a different look because of the updated steering wheel. Same 2 analog gauges, 1 little driver information cluster. That isn't different. Same push to start engine button, but this whole area up top has been cleaned up, so you don't have all the little different, you know, elements and stuff. They moved the driver focus bar right here, put the large screen here, and just cleaned up this whole area. And I like that a lot over here on the Crosstrek. But as far as the materials up top, it's a lot of hard plastic, kind of some scratchy material above the glove box, and then some more of that faux carbon fiber. Same rear view mirror, auto dimming, HomeLink garage door controls, LED dome lights. You've got your little sunroof controls here as well. You've got the same kind of visors that don't extend. You just have this thing. Same color liner as well. Now over here on the Crosstrek, you do have a Qi-enabled wireless charging pad, which you can turn off and on. You have an aux port, a USB-A port like you have over on the Forester, but you also have a USB-C port, which you do not have over there. Now the center console area has been reconfigured a little bit over here on the Crosstrek. So you've got a 12-volt outlet here, heated seats, like I said, electronic parking brake, your linear-tronic CVT with this little leather wrapping at the bottom with orange accent stitching. Feels nice, looks nice, no issues with that whatsoever. The only thing I don't like is the piano black plastic right here that just gets dust and hair and dirt and grime all over it all the time. It's a fingerprint magnet for sure. You have a little pocket here, and then you have a center console here that is leather wrapped with the accent stitching as well, and then a nice deep pocket there as well. So really for the interiors, it's going to come down to what is important to you. If you like the bigger screen, sure, get the Crosstrek or wait till the 2025 Forester. If it's more modern design, I'd still, I think, go Crosstrek over Forester even on 2025. I don't love the new interiors of the Foresters. I need to see one in person to make my final judgment, but from the the pictures and videos I've seen, not a huge fan. I would prefer the Crosstrek cabin. But if some of those more kind of premium convenience features, like having the hands-free liftgate, having the position memory on the seats, if that type of stuff's important to you, Forester might be your go-to. Now, as far as the seating surfaces go, these are another leather appointed seat. They're a two-tone seat. They have these perforations down the center with this cool orange backing to it with orange accent stitching, kind of a lighter gray and then a darker gray or black bolstering. They look really cool. I actually prefer the look of these seats over the Forester seats, but I think the Forester ones are more comfortable. So you really got to pick your poison there. Driver is a 10-way power adjustable seat with 2-way lumbar support, and the passenger is a manually adjustable seat. So you get power adjustable passenger seat over there as well. So. And then, of course, you do have the smaller sunroof versus the panoramic roof that you have over on the Forester. I guess in comparison to this roof, that one definitely is panoramic because this one's very tiny. And then you do have a dual zone climate control system here on the Crosstrek as well, but it's all controlled on the screen instead of having all those physical buttons and dials like you have over on the Forester. Again, if you prefer physical dials, get the 2024 Forester because they're getting rid of them in 2025 when they add this screen in there. I talked about this in my Crosstrek Equinox comparison video, but one thing that really stands out to me between the two cabins is just how much brighter and airier the Forester cabin feels, solely because of that panoramic roof. Even though it does not extend all the way to the back, it does extend enough to make the cabin feel just brighter and airier. But I have this seat about where I'd sit as a 6'1" person, and I've got a ton of legroom. I mean a ton. You can tuck your feet way up underneath the seat, so you've got plenty of space there. The shoulder room feels adequate. The headroom feels good. Not great, but good. Again, the shoulder room's okay. It wouldn't be an amazing experience having 3 adults back here for a long time, but 2, definitely no problem. 3 kids is gonna be fine. The transmission hump is actually pretty minimal, so that's not too bad. You do have rear vents, and like I said, rear heated seats for outboard passengers, middle seat, and then you do have 2 more USB-A ports. 3 pockets in the front of each seat, so plenty of storage space there. Cup holders on the sides as well, and then those 2 cup holders when you fold down that center console. Some LED lights here, some hooks, some handles, all the stuff you'd expect to see. And again, I'll have all dimensions on screen for interior space, but really the space back here in comparison to the Crosstrek is really great. All right, and then hopping into the back seat of the Crosstrek here. Again, if you've seen my Equinox Crosstrek comparison video, I talked about the kind of differences in not having a panoramic roof that comes pretty far back. Even with this sunroof open, it just doesn't feel as bright. It does for front seat passengers, for rear seat passengers, even though you've got a decent amount of headroom here, it's just not as like open feeling. It feels a little bit more compressed in here. So it gives it kind of a more compact, tight feel to it. Whereas the Forester feels a little bit bigger. I mean, it is bigger. It doesn't just feel bigger, it is bigger. But it makes you feel more open and airy because of how that roof kind of comes back a tiny bit. But you still have a good bit of legroom back here in the Crosstrek for as small as it is. The seat kind of arcs up like this to give you that extra knee room there. You can tuck your feet up under as well. Like I said, decent headroom. I'm 6'1", so my head's getting close, and the only weird thing, it kind of arcs up here, but then there's like a little sidewall here, and my head kind of hits the sidewall a little bit, so just something to keep in mind. If you're in the middle, no issues, because you got this whole open area, but then you're kind of scrunched by your other passengers, so, you know, pick your poison there. But center console folds down, 2 cup holders here, nice armrest as well. 1 USB-C port, 1 USB-A port, no heated seats back here on the Crosstrek. Lights here, handles, hooks, textured plastic on the back here, nothing crazy back here. You know, it's a comfortable back seat. You can't recline it, unfortunately, but you know, they're almost at a nice angle already, and I could see sitting back here for a decent amount of time. Definitely 2 adults back here should have no problem. 3 kids should be fine as well. The transmission hump is a little bit taller here. 3 kids should be fine. Now, as far as their warranties go, these, of course, are both Subaru models, so they're going to have the same warranty, which is a 3-year, 36,000-mile basic warranty, a 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty, a 5-year unlimited mileage rust perforation warranty, and 3-year, 36,000-mile 24/7 roadside assistance. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a like if you did. Let me know down in the comments, which of these Subaru models do you prefer? Let's talk about it down in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe.